Now, hopefully, you fully adjusted now to the clocks going back yesterday. The ones on the walls might be done. What about the oven and the car? It did get very dark yesterday afternoon, didn't it, as well? It means a lot of journeys will be happening in the darkness. When I was up early this morning, you just think, God, that really changes perspective, doesn't it? Maybe for all of us, it is something we're looking at. But what about our kids and our grandkids heading to and from school? When the half term is over, they will be kicking into that again. There are people in the county that are working extra hard this time of year to keep us safe. Neil Baker is Kent County Council Cabinet Member for Highways and Transport. Also on the show this morning, Emily Cherry, Chief Executive of the Bikeability Scheme. We'll start with you first, Neil. Good morning.
Good morning.
You know, we're always, aren't we, thinking about how do we make sure that we look after our kids and our grandkids. And it's so easy to send them out in the morning, maybe with just their ordinary coat that they love, their winter coat. It's really thinking a bit differently, especially when it comes to getting on that bicycle as well.
Absolutely that, because, you know, you think of a thick winter coat, keeping warm, that's all important. But quite often these winter coats are very dark. So what we're asking is people just give a little bit of thought about whether to wear a reflective jacket, perhaps some of the nice reflective accessories you can get, because as has been said, it's not just that we're moving towards winter and it's gradually getting darker. When the clocks go back an hour, everything just happens over a quick hump, and you're not really as used and adjusted to it as you might be.
Emily Cherry is also with us. Emily, as Chief Executive of the Bikeability Scheme, tell us a bit about how we can make sure that kids, particularly on their bikes, are safe.
Yeah, so we have lots of top tips at the Bikeability Trust, and most important thing is that if you're not kind of sure, head to our website. You can also pick up some training as well. Kent County Council do a fantastic job for the county, so we have around 12,000 children get trained every year in bikeability. But some of our top tips are a little bit like Neil has also said, you know, be bright and be seen. That's really important, particularly in the winter lights. Obviously using lights on your bike as well. But there are also things that you learn through our training, like the way that you position yourself on the road. So we talk to children about don't cycle in the gutter. That's where all the glass and the grit is. Right? Cycle about 60 centimetres out from the pavement. But also when you're in traffic, cycle in the centre of the lane so they can see you much more effectively.
It is scary, though. That's a really good point about the gutter, but it is also scary, isn't it, in terms of getting out into the traffic. It's quite something as a kid to do that. And I know we have all the what was cycle proficiency back in my days still going on in the county, but it's a really good point about just making sure that they are safe, but also they're riding in the right way, Emily.
Exactly. So that's our road positioning. So in children's language, we talk about it at our positioning being pass me, so 60 centimetres out, so a car can come around you safely, or follow me when you want to go, when you want traffic to slow down and really take their time to go around you because you might be on smaller roads or the traffic might be really kind of busy. So these are just really important tips. And it's also really important for us as drivers as well. I'm not just a cyclist, I'm a car driver. We've got to share the road really supported and safely with everyone on the roads to get everyone more working and cycling and feeling safe.
Neil, I know as kids we all liked to freebie, didn't we, when we were at school? We all like to have something, and as part of the campaign that you guys are running, key rings are being given to kids, part of the Be Bright, Be Seen campaign.
Absolutely, that's the key part of it. We're just trying to get everyone to have a little think about it more than normal. I mean, as has just been said, it's not that motorists are only motorists and pedestrians are only pedestrians, cyclists are only cyclists. We're all doing all of those things much of the time, and we just need to make sure we just spend a little bit of extra time, even more than usual, just keeping an eye out for what is happening on all parts of the road, particularly the pavements and on the edges where there are no pavements, of course.
And Neil, making sure that every year this message gets across, do you always look at it and think, well, how can we do it differently this year?
I think that's important because it's not just that it is every year, but of course we have new cohorts of children coming through the schools, and a lot of this is important for the younger kids. So we can't assume that because people have heard it one year, they automatically know, because of course they're all going through the system. And we all want to see our children walking to and from school as much as possible. We want to see people enjoying, you know, the lovely winter and autumnal walks that we have across our glorious county. We just want to make sure they do it as safely as possible, so nothing happens that will make them not want to do that going forwards.
And back on the bike, Emily, something as simple as colour of coats is so key, isn't it? We all have those lovely black coats that we've got, and we think, you know, in normal circumstances. But when it gets to being on a bike, particularly adults as well as kids, that's really important.
It is really important. And I know that, school uniform policies don't always help actually our parents and our children in this place because they're asking them to wear dark coloured coats. Actually, we would say to schools, let's also give the opportunity for, brighter visible coats so that children don't have to wear high vis and don't have to put extra reflective gear on. But, very important to be safe and be seen.
That's a very good point, Emily. And Neil, sorry, you're going to cop this one. A Kent County Council Cabinet member. I know you're highways and transport, but that's a good point, isn't it? Is that something you could encourage schools to get involved with through your KCC methods?
I think it's a very fair point. I remember the school I went to, uniform was very dark and drab, dare I suggest. And, obviously we don't look after all of the schools. We've got many academies and everything across Kent. But I think actually it's always essential to work with the schools. And, just because the dark shades, and as I said, quite often the dark shades are the coats that are the warmest and we want to keep everyone warm. But we do have to look at it from that safety viewpoint as well. Absolutely.
So is that a conversation you might have with your opposite number who's working in education to talk to the schools that you do look after?
Very much so. Happy to do that. And I think that's something good that can come out of this because all we want to do is keep people safe. And that's one straightforward thing we can do to work towards that. Absolutely.
It's a great idea, Emily. Thank you for suggesting it. And Neil, come back to us when those conversations have happened so we can update our audience. I'd really appreciate that to see how I love the fact that conversation can happen here sometimes that might turn into something. So we appreciate you both coming on the show. Emily Cherry from the Bikeability Scheme and KCC Councillor for Highways and Transport. Neil Baker on BBC Radio Kent. And that is all a big campaign going on right now. Be bright, be seen.